Here's the thing, estrogen is not always bad. A lot of the issues that you might be facing very well could be a result of low estrogen. Let me break down how this kind of works. So here's the thing, estrogen and testosterone work together. When estrogen is low, a lot of times it also means that testosterone levels are low. So a lot of the symptoms of low testosterone may actually be symptoms of low estrogen. So here's what we have to pay attention to. We have to see if we are having trouble sleeping, if we're waking up 3-4 times throughout the night. Now, a lot of times this happens because your body is trying to rebalance hormones simply because the estrogen is out of whack. That triggers rises and falls of other hormones and catecholamines that wake you up throughout the night. Okay, the other one is going to be extreme fatigue in the afternoons. Okay, a lot of times this is a result of the poor sleep, but sometimes it's just flat out rises and falls of hormones, again, resulting from the low estrogen. Now, next up is going to be water weight. Now, a lot of people end up thinking that if you have high levels of estrogen in your body, you're gonna have high amounts of water weight. Well, yes, that's true, but the same applies for low levels of estrogen. Low levels of estrogen throw off all those balances as well. You see, estrogen works really, really closely with cortisol, but also with aldosterone. Now, aldosterone will help regulate that fluid balance within the body. So when you have low levels of estrogen, you end up having a lot of water retention, or when you eat a salty meal, you'll be much more sensitive to it. So those are the kind of things that we have to pay attention to. Now, additionally, if you're a little bit older and you're finding that you're starting to get stress fractures a lot more, that's a very strong indicator of low levels of estrogen. So here are a few ways that you can get your estrogen in check, or at least do a quick little test to see if estrogen is your issue. First and foremost, all you really have to do is increase your consumption of phytoestrogens. They're everywhere. We always add soy to so many different products, okay? You can just eat some soy and therefore you're gonna have a little bit more estrogen. But additionally, things like flax, okay? The isoflavones that are in these phytoestrogen foods actually trigger a release of estrogen within the body because they hit those estrogen receptors the same way that estrogen does. I've talked about this in other videos when I'm trying to reduce estrogen. But when it comes to this, all you have to do is test out consuming a little bit of soy, or test out consuming some more flax and see if you feel a little bit better. You'll know within 2 or 3 days. Next up is chill out on the training just a little bit. If you suspect that you have a low estrogen issue, one of the leading contributors could simply be overtraining. You see, when you overtrain, you have an increase in cortisol. Cortisol generally has an inverse relationship with estrogen. I know it sounds crazy because we typically do want estrogen somewhat low, but again, we don't want it too low. Now, studies have also shown that after 50 minutes of continuous exercise, you end up having an increase in salivary cortisol levels, which therefore means you could be plummeting your estrogen levels. That's why the HYLETE Daily Circuit app has the perfect length of workouts so that you're not having to deal with these excruciatingly long workouts that are gonna plummet your hormone levels, okay? The next thing you wanna pay attention to goes hand in hand with overtraining, and that is get your testosterone levels checked. Here's the thing, again, like I said, when estrogen is low, generally speaking, testosterone is low. They work together. When testosterone is high, estrogen is also high. What we ultimately want to do is get our checks and balances in order so that testosterone is moderately high and estrogen is moderately low, but not super low. So go to the doctor, get your testosterone levels checked. But one of the first things that you can do is, like I mentioned earlier, do what I call estrogen spiking. It's the quickest and easiest way to see if your estrogen levels are what's causing an issue. Take 2 or 3 days, increase your soy consumption, increase your flax consumption, increase consumption of phytoestrogen foods, and if all of a sudden your joints start feeling better, you start feeling like you're retaining less water, and you have more energy in the gym, then bingo, estrogen was probably your issue, and all you have to do is implement those phytoestrogen foods 1 or 2 times a week, and you'll start feeling better. But you have to test it out, and if you don't feel better, keep those phytoestrogen foods out of the diet. As always, keep it locked in here with HYLETE so that you can get the best nutrition knowledge, the best workout knowledge, and, well, not too shabby apparel either. See you in the next video.